That's cool. How'd you make it say, make this week your masterpiece?
Where?
Oh, it says that on your, that's bizarre.
30 seconds. Where does that say that? Maybe it's you.
Oh my
30
goodness.
seconds. I'm going to go ahead and mute myself. You have 50 people in the waiting room.
Excellent. Do you see the stand and deliver slide? Am I good? All right. All right. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome. It is great to be back together. All right. Wednesday after lunch. How are we doing? Wave at me if you can see me over here. Hello, hello. All right. Very good. And can you see the slide, the stand and deliver slide? I got that broadcasting. You see it? All right. Thank you very much. Okay, here we are. Here we are, Wednesday afternoon. I've practiced 3 times, so I'm ready for you all. I have no more kinks, knock on wood. We'll see. Hopefully this will be the best session yet. My great thanks to Roy. He's been with me through all 3 of the prior stand and delivers, and now we are really, really grateful to get to share this to you all. So I think we got about 10 more people to jump in. Usually there's a little bit of a lag as everybody logs in. So the couple things you need, Cedric sent last night a PDF. So you should have a PDF waiting for you with the stand and deliver little workbook. It's just a 12-page workbook. I'll be referring to that. You don't have to have it in paper form. You can look at it digitally, and I will be using slides, and then I'll be speaking to that. Hopefully you have your laptop or computer, and also you have your cell phone additionally. If you're doing all this off your cell phone, we can make it work, but it's a little bit easier if you're watching the presentation on your laptop or desktop, and then you've got your cell phone to the side. We need your cell phone. If you have a Sharpie, and some Post-its, I'm going to be talking about, Post-it notes, and a Sharpie. That's better. But if you don't have that, as long as you have a white piece of paper and a pen, you can totally do the exercise. We're also going to have a digital version of the Post-it notes that we'll tell you about. And lastly, if you have a manila folder handy like this, you can put the Post-it notes in the folder, and that can be your portable speech. But if you don't have that, don't worry about it. You can do that later. Okay. Yeah, 106. It looks like we got everybody. Thank you, Roy. Here we go. Oh, last thing. If none of your group mates are with you here, then you're in the wrong session. So you should see at least one other member of your study group. All right. Okay, the number went up. We haven't lost anybody. Okay, good. Then everybody's in the session they're supposed to be in. One quick thing. How'd you like Michelle Havens last night? Wave if you can see if you liked that. Okay, good, good. Well, I was we were thrilled. Like I said last night, we have not had a keynote for about 5 years, and we thought, well, let's bring that back. Maybe that'll be a nice, and Professor Dai and Professor Wu were actually watching. I didn't introduce them because they didn't want to be introduced yet, but they were watching, and then the other 3 faculty, we did record it, and we sent it to the other 3 faculty. So, so anyway, I'm glad you like Michelle, because she really represents where we want you to be 15 years from now, hitting on all cylinders. Your career is going great, your personal life is going great, and you're a philanthropist, or you're a contributor, you're giving back, you're being a citizen in the community, all that board work that she does. All right, so here we go. Here we go. All right, so my favorite poem, just to reiterate, tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? I love Mary Oliver. I love this poem. I love that idea that this is a wild and precious life. It's wild. I don't know where it's going to go. It's not predictable. It's precious. I'm not taking it for granted. So I love that as a context for the week. And I hope some of that gets on you, that you're looking at this adventure. You got 998 more days of FEMBA left, right? You've already done the first 2 days. What do you want to do with this wild and precious graduate school? So we also have Make Today Your Masterpiece. Make Today Your Masterpiece from Coach Wooden. And then this one, that this week is a gift. You earned your seat. You're supposed to be here. You as a leader. Wow. Who does that? Who looks at themselves and says, what kind of leader am I now? And what kind of leader could I be? People who do that are people like you, extraordinary people who are willing to play a big game. So from all of us, Roy, myself, the faculty, the FEMbassadors, FEMBA Council, the staff, make this week a gift. Make this week a masterpiece. That's our goal for you. All right. So sometimes when you speak in public, you get nervous. Imagine, right? People are looking at me. What if I mess up? A really simple thing we can always do is to center ourselves before we start to speak. And we're going to practice this together. You're going to breathe in 1, 2, 3, 4, in like you're smelling a flower. Then I want you to hold it for 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I want you to gently breathe out like you're blowing out a birthday candle on a cupcake. Okay? So let's do this together. In, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. And then out. And then you could count again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then repeat one more time. In. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then out. 1, 2, 3, 4. So no matter the situation, you can be running a meeting, 5 people, easy. You can be about to step on a stage in front of 500 people. Our body always needs the next breath. One of the ways that we can tell our body everything is okay is just to consciously breathe in, consciously breathe out, okay? So it's silly, except it's not, because it really works. Speaking, leading, communicating, it's not in the future, it's not in the past. It happens right here, in the moment, with a real human being. To have it be effective, you have to be present. You have to be right here. You can't be worried about tomorrow. You can't have regrets about yesterday. You just got to be right here to be effective. So one way to make sure that I'm always right here is just to focus on my breathing. Excellent. Okay, total sidebar. I'd be happy to connect with each and every one of you on LinkedIn. I get a lot of LinkedIn requests from people I do not know. So if you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, please just say, hey, it's Karunya from the class of 23, and then I'll totally accept it, okay? Hey, it's Ryan M from 23. I'll totally accept it, okay? Just a sidebar, but it'll make my life easier because I don't necessarily like to say yes to people that I don't know. All right. I congratulated you on 3 things on Monday. 3 congratulations before you heard from Dean Bernardo. Your promotion to CEO, your new board of directors, and wow, what an extraordinary thing to do to write a leadership practice plan. So I'm going to be quiet for 5 seconds. Just check in with yourself. Wednesday afternoon, how am I doing? Excellent. Good. However you're doing, I'm doing great. I'm sleepy after lunch. I think I don't understand anything. It's a rainbow, right? Wherever you are is the perfect place to be. The most important thing is that you're here. You're on the court. You're doing the work. So just trust the journey. You're doing great. Okay, my 5th year. This is my 5th year teaching Stand and Deliver. I wrote this workshop. I love this workshop. My commitment is that this workshop make a big difference for you. Remember my promise from Monday? 3 things. I'm going to give you some tools, help you get a 15% raise, show you how to lose 10 pounds and be a little bit taller. Okay? So you're going to hold me to the promise? Yes? All right.
Yes.
Jennifer nodding, Barry, Jason. Okay, good. All right. Sarah's laughing. Very good. All right. So let's pretend you're at work and your boss comes up and says, hey there, Dylan, I got a sick child. In 30 minutes, we got to have that big presentation. I got to go home. My little baby is sick. I need you to do it. What is your reaction? So raise some blue hands. I'll call on people. Your boss walks up. Caesar, how would you respond to your boss?
I would ask him if there are any key points that he wanted me to touch on specifically.
Excellent. Get some clarification. Excellent.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you, Caesar. Andrew, what would you do?
Definitely. Same thing Caesar just mentioned. I'd also ask him to give me any material he has, so I can go through it real quick. And before he runs off, if I have any questions, I can quickly ask.
Beautiful. Yeah. What is it? Is there a PowerPoint? Any material? Ask any questions before he runs off. Beautiful. Kristen H.
It's just Kristen.
Kristen.
I would ask who is going to be in the room and what background they have on the topic.
Excellent. Yeah. Happy to do this. And this is which team? This is which department? What background do they have? Excellent. I love it. Colin.
I was going to say audience, but also understanding what the outcome is. What do we want the call to action to be? What is going to be the expected result of the speech?
Oh, you guys are great. I love it. Let's do two more. Maria F.
I would make sure if it's just me presenting or if there's anyone I can ask for more resources while he's not around or she's around. So just making sure I'm fully prepared for this.
Excellent. Excellent. One more. Cameron B.
It's funny, that actually just happened earlier this year to me. And I did exactly what we did at the start of this. I did like a breathing exercise to help me out.
Yes. Excellent. I love it. Okay. I won't call on everybody. Those are excellent. And Cameron, you're reading my mind. Yes. Everything everybody else said was perfect. And, also you can just take a breath. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. What I love about all your answers, nobody said, whoa, right? All of you were like, on to the solution. Yes. And what would I need to do this effectively? Who am I talking to? What is the topic? Are there any materials? What are the key points you want me to make? What's the call to action we should leave people with? Will I be speaking by myself? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Just beautiful. You guys, you're doing great. Okay. So when those things happen, it's an opportunity for leadership. It's an opportunity to step forward, help something happen in our organization. And that's what leaders do. Leaders use words. Leaders speak. Leaders take a situation and help it go towards a future that doesn't exist yet, the presence of which would fulfill the concerns of the relevant parties. And leaders do that through the use and exercise of language. So you can survey leaders, you can start to pay attention to leaders, you can look for examples of leadership in your life. You can see leaders you love and you admire. You can see average leaders, you can see leaders that you don't want to be like. What you'll see across the continuum, they use language, they speak. That's how they get things done. People don't read each other's minds. You have to say words at the right moment with the right audience to get motion happening. Speaking is what leaders do. That's the pathway through which leadership can arise. And speaking can be practiced. That's what this is about. This is not a class, this is a workshop. I'm going to show you a list of classes you can take, and it's a long list, and that's great. But those happen in the elective phase, which is a year from now. I want to give you a shortcut. I want you to start to get results Tuesday morning in your professional life, or Saturday night, or Sunday afternoon, or Monday afternoon at the barbecue in your personal life, okay? That's what I want. I want you to practice speaking, asking, and I want the results that you're committed to start to accrue around you sooner rather than later. So today is practice. This weekend, next week, fall quarter, that's where the results get to show up, okay? So another thing, show of hands. I love this ancient Chinese koan type thing. I actually don't know the genesis of it. It may be from who knows where. But the question is, when is the best time to plant a tree? Marcella knows. When is the best time to plant a tree, Marcella?
Like 20 years ago.
Yeah, tell me more about that.
You don't get results immediately. You have to put in work and allow time to occur in order for results, in order to get a crop from your seeds.
Yeah. If I walk outside and it's hot and sunny and I say to myself, gosh, I wish I had some shade, the best time to interrupt that heat problem would have been 20 years ago. Excellent. Thank you, Marcella. Well stated. All right, now here's the continuation of the idea. When is the second best time to plant a tree? Somebody else who'd like to say? Sneha.
Now, because it's better late than never.
Yeah. Best time to plant a tree was what Marcella said 20 years ago. Second best time to plant a tree is right here, right now. There's no time like the present. So, this week, the name of this week is Leadership Foundations. Some of you may be going, leadership, I'm just getting my MBA. I'll be a leader in 10 years, right? Except maybe the best time to start planting the seed of being the leader I want to be is right now, right? If I'd started 20 years ago, that'd be great. But we can't change 20 years ago, but we can take action right now. That's the name of this week. Leadership Foundations. I like to visualize one on top of the other. Leadership that's what this is about. That's where we're going. Out in my life and in my career, how do I be a leader? What kind of leader have I been trained to be so far? And then what's next, and what's next beyond that? So leadership, and that stands on top of foundation. Foundation, what's my point of view? What's my understanding? What's my relationship to the leadership within myself and the leadership of people around me? How do I call it forth? How do I call it forth from me? How do I call it forth from my colleagues, from my friends, from my family? The world, you heard Michelle last night, the world needs leaders right now. So it's a big deal what you're endeavoring this week to discover for yourself. So I, as you know, love metaphors. I like to think of leadership as a dance, or like dance. I don't lead in a vacuum. And dance is similar. Dance happens out here. It happens, I don't think about dance, I dance. I don't necessarily just think about leadership, I be a leader. A good, average, a bad, but I'm out on the dance floor practicing, right? And what I'm trying to point to with the metaphor is, there's no one way to dance. There's no best way to dance. Like, it's easy when we think about dance, which is better? I can go home to Texas and we can go line dancing or two-stepping. Is that better than another type of dance? Is that better than ballroom dance? Is that better than a foxtrot or a waltz? Is that better than hip hop? No, they're just different. And even within the different types of dance is different yet again. Doing the same song on Friday night and dancing to the same song on Saturday night, the atmosphere is slightly different. The temperature is slightly different. I might have a different dance partner. The music could be a little bit louder, a little bit quieter. So it's always in the moment. I can't dance tomorrow. I can't dance yesterday. I can dance right now. And I think leadership is like that. I be a leader in communication, speaking words out here with people, and we create together the same way that I dance with someone in the moment, with the music, in the atmosphere, and we generate it together. Sometimes we're in sync, and oh, I love dancing with that person. And sometimes we're out of sync. It's like, gosh, I'm not a good dancer with that person. It is what it is. It's not good or bad. It's just like what there is to discover. So I'm going to suggest that leaders dance the same way I suggest that leaders speak. And the same way you can practice speaking, you can practice dancing. And it might be a little awkward, and I might step on your toe and you might bump me with your elbow, and it's okay, right? It's still fun. It's better than sitting around. It's worth doing, right? This is the body that carries us around, and when we let it move, it gets energized and it gives us energy and we give it energy. And leadership is the same way. I can sit around and have ideas and get sad and sorry that nobody talks to me, or I can stand up, raise my hand and say, hey, I got an idea. I think I can do something about that. Wow, look at Cesar. He started going to UCLA and now he's like kind of stepping up. All right, Cesar, let's give you a little bit. How about Marcella? Look at her raising her hand. Okay, Marcella, why don't you take that project? Let's see what you can do. Okay, practice, practice. You don't have to get it right. You can practice. Best type of leader, best type of dance, it's to be discovered. There's no limit. There's no only. There's no one right. There's trial, error, fail, succeed, reset, restart, try again, get better. It's all available. So Dean Bernardo talked about our 3 pillars: think fearlessly, share success, drive change. I like to think head, heart, gut. I'm going to be more intelligent because I'm going to grad school. I'm going to have a much bigger network. I'm going to have friends across all types of industries that I can call who can help me. And I'm going to get that X factor confidence to raise my hand and say, hey, world, I've got something. May I have permission to take that responsibility, take that accountability? Can I get money? Can I get a green light? Can I get staff? Can I get resources? Can I take something and make it happen? Right? You gotta have that confidence to make that happen. And what I want to give you today is a notch full of confidence, a notch more confidence. So I'm going to talk in a moment, and you alluded to this when we did the response earlier. Why am I talking? What am I talking about? Don't waste a moment at a microphone. If you don't know why you're there and you don't know what you're talking about, give it to somebody else. Wow, thank you so much for asking me, boss. But honestly, I don't feel like that's really my topic. I would recommend that we let Susan have that opportunity if she would like it, because I don't want to, I don't want to waste anybody's time. I think it would be a great stretch for her. So if I could share that forward to her, I'd be honored to. If you really want me to do it, I will. So there might be times where you actually don't stand and deliver. But what I'm going to suggest, mostly, you're going to say yes. I'm at UCLA, I'm at Anderson, I'm getting the world's best degree in management, and I'm looking for micro moments. I'm looking for mini opportunities, mini, M-I-N-I, not many. I'm looking for little opportunities to step forward and be seen and be noticed and step into things that I would not have stepped into without my MBA. So before you ever speak in public, you want to know why and you know what. So before you ever lead a workshop, you want to know why, right? So this is my why. So this is the handout. We're on the PDF now. And if you switch to page 2, and I'm just going to look at it on the slide here, why do I want to give you stand and deliver on Wednesday afternoon, day 3? I want to empower you to speak powerfully in your professional life. My assertion is that a leader's effectiveness is a function of their speaking ability. I want to give you a basic speaking toolkit and a chance to practice. I want you to develop your ability to speak and to ask effectively. If we practice, we'll improve our competence, which will enhance your confidence to speak and lead. After the workshop, like I said, Saturday night, Sunday afternoon, Monday afternoon, next week, Tuesday morning, I want you to proactively look for opportunities to speak and ask and lead and accelerate the value of your MBA in your career and even in your personal life. Everybody has a chance at the end of today's workshop to promise to your board of directors something you want to make happen for yourself. And then you can support each other. All right? And I really want that discovery to not end during this workshop, but be started in the workshop and continue into the rest of the week and into the fall quarter. So that's why I'm with you today. And it's a treat. It's an honor to get to lead this. And my commitment is that it make a real difference right now, this week in your life. Okay, so another self-check. Who hates to speak in public? Who loves to speak in public? Just look in yourself, like some people love this. Some of you are salespeople, 100% commission, eat what you kill. Some of you are management consultants. You love this. Like, this is the easy part. Okay, great. This may be one of those classes where you've got a lot to give because this is your world, right? Others of you are on the other end of the spectrum. And this is like, oh, they told me this was going to be part of the MBA. And I know it's good for me, but I really hate it. I don't like speaking in public. It makes me, I get butterflies. Ugh. Okay. So you can love it. You can hate it. It's a spectrum. It's great. Wherever you are, it's great, great, great. But right now, if you've printed this off, great. If you haven't, just on a white piece of paper, blue piece of paper, doesn't matter what color, write down your grade. Who are you about public speaking? Are you a 10? I absolutely love this. Are you an 11? Like, yes. Are you a 0? I absolutely hate this. Are you a -1? This is the world's worst thing. Or are you a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? All right, give yourself a grade. You're going to give yourself another grade at the end of the workshop, and we're going to see what happened. All right, so again, a new metaphor. This is the laboratory and the experiment metaphor. UCLA as a laboratory. FEMBA as a laboratory. Your classmates as your fellow scientists. Your faculty as the lead scientist. And the experiment is your career. What can we concoct to make your career explode into new levels that really make you go, wow? Can we enhance the career? Can you stay with the same company but get the killer job you didn't even know you were even being considered for? Can you switch to something that you didn't even know about before you went to Anderson? Can you explore? Can you be an entrepreneur? Can you inherit the family business? Okay, it's a laboratory. It's a laboratory. You bring your real-time career into the laboratory, and then we're going to experiment. And sometimes the experiment's going to work, and sometimes it's not. But the point is you're surrounded with the resources to experiment and experiment well. So let today be part of the experiment. We talked about this on Monday, right? Imposter syndrome, comparison trap. The only competition, the only person I want you to compare yourself to today is who? Is you yesterday, right? Don't get intimidated by your classmates for whom this is like, wow, she's so great. I want to be like her. I'm not like her. I feel sad. No, it's like, wow, she's so great. What can I learn from her? Because that's what I signed up for. I surrounded myself with people like her on purpose because I'm humble and brilliant. I'm humble enough to know that there's still more to learn, and I'm brilliant enough to surround myself with people like these 4 or 5 people in my study group. Okay? And only compare me to me yesterday. I'm already a little bit better than I was Monday morning. That's amazing. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. About 60 or 70 minutes, I'm going to give you the workbook, the toolkit, and we're going to go through the basics of a speech. Why am I talking? Who am I talking to? What ideas do I have? What are the best ideas? What are the weaker ideas? How do I put those ideas into a frame? And I'm going to give you these tools to do that, which is the Sharpies, either the paper and Post-it with the Sharpies and the Post-it, either the physical like this, or we've got a digital solution. Okay. So I'm going to set this up for about an hour, hour and 10 minutes, and then you're going to go into your groups. Roy's setting up your groups right now. We're going to break you out into your fall quarter study group, and you're going to go once around. Every single person's going to talk. You're going to have 5 minutes, and you're going to make a 2 to 3 minute, very short speech. It's barely a speech, but it's a start. And then you're going to get the remainder of the time, you're going to get constructive feedback from your group mates. There's going to be a timer. The timer's going to keep you on time. You're going to spend 30 minutes doing that. Then we'll have a 10-minute break. Then we're going to come back and we're going to debrief. You're going to tell me what you learned. I'm going to listen. And then I'm going to give you 3 new upgrades that you don't have in the first half: executive presence, speech act request, and 1 more. You're going to go back to your groups the second time. Again, you're going to have 30 minutes, 5 minutes each. You're going to make the very same speech, but you're going to have these 3 upgrades. And one of them is going to be executive presence. You're going to change something about your executive presence, and your classmates are going to see if they can guess what you changed. you're going to use the Speech Act request, and it's going to be a stair step. And you're going to have 2 videos. You're going to have the first speech on your phone. You're going to have the second speech on your phone. And Sunday afternoon, I invite you, after this whole week is over, 3-day weekend, Sunday afternoon, I invite you to just go sit on the couch, get a cocktail, whatever, get your first speech, watch it, and go, good job, Brandon. Good job, Cameron. Good job, Santosh. Good job, Jan. Good job, Hannah. That's a brave person right there. Then get your second cocktail. No, just have the first one. Then swipe forward and watch the second video. And then give that second video a pat on the back. Yes, Mike. Yes, Maria. Yes, Jennifer. Yes, Aravind. Yes, Jason. Yes, Kristen. Good job. And I want you to see a delta. And trust me, you're actually going to see a delta. Okay? So then we'll come back after that. We'll debrief. We'll look forward to next week and beyond. And then we'll be done. Okay? So that's our agenda. That's what we're going to make happen. As we look forward to next week and beyond, there'll be 2 opportunities to make a promise. It's the last 2 pages of the workbook. You can make a promise to yourself, which is awesome, optional, but awesome and available. And even more powerful, you can make a promise to your group, and they can make a promise to you, and you guys can support each other. And if you want to start having real results this fall quarter, I invite you to take on the bonus and make that promise to each other. How can we support you to get what you want? Okay, today is a workshop. In the future, you're going to have classes. Remember, FEMBA is 4 quarters of core classes: fall, winter, spring, summer, and fall. And then in the winter, a year from now, that's when the electives start. So today is not a class. Today is just a quick 3.5 hours, but it's designed to practice right now to get results next week. But in the future, when you get to electives, look at all, this is not everything, but this is a good sample of the electives you can take. Negotiations, behavior, persuasion and influence, patterns of problem solving, strategic business communications, storytelling in the Global Access Program, managerial interpersonal communication, advanced management communication. So if you love this stuff, you can do more of it. But again, for right now, we're just going to get you started so you can start to get the results this weekend, next week, right now. So you're going to write and give a speech. I told you that, so let's start to develop that. So the first thing we're going to do on page 3, and again, if in the future, if you actually want, you can just take this thing, print it off, put it in a manila folder, and then just have it in your office. You know? In case of fire, break glass, right? In case of speech, open folder. Or you can just keep it around digitally, okay? But I invite you to use this like a cheat sheet. Oh, the boss wants me to make a speech. Why? Why am I going to talk? Start with why. And then the call to action. What do I want to have happen? Okay? You ever notice that executives are always asking for stuff? God, I love it when she comes in. She's the SVP of marketing. She's always like this and this and this. But always at the end, there's like an ask, right? She never just comes in and gives us updates. She's always asking for, okay, now we got to use the corporate branding. We got to use the corporate color palette. We all got to be on the same PowerPoint template. This is really important. One company, one brand, one presentation to the world. Executives ask for stuff. You all are becoming executives. So we're going to practice asking for stuff. So audience analysis number 1, why am I talking to this audience and what do I want this audience to do? Okay. And just writing that down is super important. It will help you. It will help you go into the room ready to go. Okay. Today we're going to practice asking for something you want because leaders ask. That is what leaders do. They ask. So who hates to ask for stuff? Similar to speaking. Some of you, like me, I'm from Texas. In the South, we don't talk straight in the South. We talk around stuff, right? You know, like, how you doing? Fine. I mean, we don't think about if we're doing fine. We just say we're doing fine. The house can be on fire. The tornado swept the dog away, and we'll say we're fine, okay? We don't talk straight. So for me, my wife will say, hey, what do you want to do this weekend? I'll say, I don't know. I hate to say what I want. I'm no good at it. My wife is from New Jersey. She's from a very different culture. If you know people from the Northeast, they're not like people from the South. People from the Northeast are like, shoo, cruise missile to the heart. My wife has no problem ever telling me what she wants, right? We're just different. So some of you may love to ask, some of you may not. It's all good. Executives ask for stuff. You are becoming an executive. We're going to get some practice. Leaders ask. Asking is what they do. Asking is a superpower. I know that's silly, right? Real superpower is like X-ray vision and being able to fly. No, asking is a superpower. It really is. And you know who has the most of it? Children. Kids. Kids ask. Kids are incredibly powerful. I have a 13-year-old and an 8-year-old. Right now, last 2 weeks ago, it was Call of Duty. Now it's like Call of Duty Cold War. You know, I'm getting ready for Professor Die last night. I led Stand and Deliver. I did a little bit of email. I wrapped everything up. I scooted on home. I get home. We've got roofers at our house. There's no roof on my house right now. All the shingles are gone. I'm looking at that. I'm going into my wife's office. I'm trying to snarf down some food. I'm getting set up for the webinar last night, or the interview. I somehow hid the script from myself, so I printed it off. It printed off too small. Like, there's a lot going on, and my kids know these are like the most important 3 days of my whole year. But does Jackson care? Hey, Dad, Micah's mom said it's okay if he gets Cold War, and it has Ronald Reagan, so it's kind of historical. I mean, he's just making his case, just asking for what he wants while I'm trying to get ready for Michelle Havens, right? Kids are powerful. They ask for what they want, no shame, all the time. It's powerful, okay? So we all know how to ask, because we all had that ability when we were kids. And then somewhere along the way, we became adults and we lost it. So I'm going to get you tapped back into that power today. So these are my 3 MBA regrets. If I could do it over, these are the 3 things I would do differently. All 3 of these things did not have to happen if I had had a little bit of courage and opened my mouth and asked for help. Okay, so number 1, I went to Chicago. It's a finance school, just like Anderson. There was a professor named Eugene Fama. For those of you in the world of finance, he's a big deal. He's more of a big deal now, but he was a big deal back then. I have a finance concentration. My concentrations are finance and marketing. Eugene Fama was the alpha faculty by far in that discipline. But did I take his course? No, I did not. I totally chickened out. I was a little grade snob. I had no idea. I've been graduate 26 years now. No one's ever asked me about my GPA. Now, there are fields where you need a good GPA from business school, but I have not pursued those fields. But I was so worried that I'd get a C that I didn't take Fama. So I cheated myself out of a chance to be taught by a Nobel Prize winning professor. Now, what's the ask that could have changed that? I could have asked any of those crazy smart classmates of mine, hey, smart man, hey, smart woman, are you taking Fama winter quarter? I want to take him, but I'm scared. I've heard the reading is tough. I've heard he's like cold calls. I don't want to look like an idiot. Can I lean on you? Can I take that class and, maybe sit by you and maybe like you help me understand this? Because it's pretty senior stuff. All I had to do was ask. Number 1 regret. Number 2, my MBA, long time ago, full-time MBA was $2,100 a class. There were 20 classes, just like here. So it's $42,000 in tuition. And I lived in Chicago for 2 years, so room and board, travel. So I borrowed $99,000 to get my MBA. 42 for tuition, 60 to live, 59 to live, 58 to live, whatever. And my great aunt, she graciously, out of the goodness of her heart, gave me $20,000. So my debt carry was $79,000 when I got done. Now, I don't know, but my grandma was somewhat affluent, not Rockefeller, nothing like that, but you know, she was okay. She had means. I could have asked her if she would have helped pay for part of my MBA. You know, could have said, hey, Grandma Mart, you know, I'm going to University of Chicago. I'm going there because you went there. You got your master's degree in library science. So I'm leaving Texas. I'm going to go have a big adventure in the city. I'm a little nervous. I've never lived outside of the state, but I've always heard Chicago's great. And this is my chance to go make something of myself. And, you know, I did Texas A&M with scholarships, so I don't owe anybody anything, but now I have to borrow this money. Could you help me out a little bit? And she could have said yes or no, or she could have said, yeah, a little, you know, I don't know, but I'll never know because I did not ask. So that's my second regret. Third regret, and this is probably, well, it's either FAMA or this one. A bunch of my best friends from grad school got together and went on a safari that summer. They went to Africa. They did 12 or 14 days. And, you know, I'm looking at $79,000. I've never borrowed money for anything in my life, and now I owe $79,000. And it seemed like such a big number. And I think the safari was like $6,500. And did I ask anybody? Did I ask grandma? Did I ask my mom and dad? Didn't ask anybody. Did I ask the financial aid counselors? They probably would have told me, you know what, you're still in the window. You could borrow for X months after, and you're going to amortize it over 20 years. You might as well do it because it's hard to go to Africa later in life. But I didn't do that. I just got all middle class and scared, and, you know, and I'm no offense to middle class, but it was too rich for my blood at that moment. But I didn't ask anybody for advice. I didn't ask my colleagues or my friends, you know, like, I don't know, any ideas how I figured this out? Because they might have told me, hey, guy, you know, when people loan you money, let them loan you money. You can pay it off later, right? People would have told me that. But in my mind, I thought, oh, it's too rich for me. I'll probably go to Africa later. It's 26 years later. I got a complicated life. Never been to Africa. Okay, 3 regrets. All 3 of those regrets could have been avoided had I opened my mouth, used language the way leaders and executives do, and asked for some help, for some perspective, from a different way to look at it. Lots of ways to solve problems in life. That's the beauty of getting an MBA with great people like who are left and right of you in Zoom. These people, this board of directors, these are the people that you can go to, and you don't have to be stuck. Those were 3 places where I got stuck because I went to my own self for counsel. The person who represents themselves has a fool for a client, right? That's the old, I was doing my own best thinking without letting in other wisdom. And I shortchanged myself, a Nobel Prize winner. Probably grandma could have given me 20, I don't know. But you'll never know if you don't ask. And I never got to go to Africa with those friends. So now even if I go to Africa, it'll be great, but it won't be with those friends. Okay, ASK to GET. Speaking and asking can be practiced. 1,000 days, 998 now. Where I am pre-MBA, where I am post-MBA. Incremental improvement, comparing me to me yesterday. That's it, just a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. 6-pack abs, right? Everybody wants 6-pack abs. You don't go to the gym once, do 100 push-ups, 100 crunches, and walk out with 6-pack abs. It doesn't work that way. It's incremental. I change my diet. I exercise a little more. I be patient, right? It's that thing about, you know, New Year's. When do gym memberships go up? New Year's. Why is that? Because of New Year's resolutions. People join the gym. Yeah, this is the year 2020, right? And then you talk to them in March, St. Patrick's Day. How's that going? Woo, where's my gym membership? I think it's dusty over there in the closet, right? That's how it often goes when we do it by ourselves. When we do it with a village, when we take a commitment, do it. When we do a commitment, when we do something big and challenging, like develop our body, develop our mind, develop our speaking, develop our ability to be a leader, right? It's not instant. It takes time. So the wise move is the move that you're making right now. Surround yourself with this environment. Now it's 5 other people going to the gym. Come on, Dylan, come on. It's Thursday night. We're going to have our team call. It's time to study for Saturday morning class, whatever your rhythm is going to be. All right. That's what we're talking about. Incremental. And then if you do all the work, then you'll get the wow. Then you'll get the stair steps, right? Year 1, year 2, year 3, beyond. Wow, MBA results. That's what gets me all excited. That's my world. I get to do the podcasts. I get to live in the amazingness. You don't know what it's like to be me. I walk through my life and people tell me good news all the time. And it's not like random lightning good news. It's the result of hard work good news. And it's so fun. You should all come do this job at some point in your life. It's a neat world, university administration, growth and development. You know, it's innovating, right? And it happened to me also. Little Texas A&M history degree, big world, what to do, right? My wow MBA results, 2 of them that I want to tell you about. One is the job I got after grad school, right? I got to work for Siemens, a global Fortune 50 German international conglomerate. No way I could have gotten hired to that company without an MBA. And then 2 years into that, I got promoted to go to Germany. So let me show you the chart that maps out my salary. And it's not even the salary, it's more the experience. The salary was fine, but it was the experience that was wow. Little Dylan from Denison, Texas is doing all this. How'd that happen? Oh, I made an investment in myself. I challenged myself. I went to grad school and I did a lot of work and things started happening. And I was practicing asking. In the second example, I was asking, can I go to Germany? So those 3 asks I did not do in school, I got over that. When I got that first real job after MBA, I was like, well, I may have used to been shy, but I ain't gonna be shy no more. It's time to get some stuff done because I got $79,000 I got to pay off. So this is my life, right? 1991, I graduate from Texas A&M. I don't owe any money and I don't have any money. I'm a zero. You got to start somewhere. That's where I started. I paid for school with scholarships and I was a waiter in the summers, right? So I graduated debt-free, fine. I didn't know what to do. I was an honors graduate. The director of the honors program said, hey, you want to come work for the honors program? So I was a little recruiter for Texas A&M. I recruited African-American, Hispanic students, and high-achieving national merit scholar people. That was my 3 accountabilities. And I got paid $16,800 to do that. Okay, fine. Not a lot of money, but I was a 5th-year senior. All my friends are still around. I had beer money. I felt rich. That was a $16,800 raise. You've heard me say this at FEMBA 101. Why FEMBA 101? Then I looked around, I want to get a grad degree. I go to Chicago, borrow $99,000. My great aunt gives me 20. So I walk out of there owing $79,000. So I'm minus 79. And then I get hired to Siemens in Santa Clara in 1995. I'm making $55,000. I was below the average. I think the average for my year was about 80. But I was young, I was green. And again, 55 is 3 times more than 16. So I feel good. You know, I'm making progress. And when I got to Siemens in Santa Clara, I just started asking anybody who would listen, can I go to Germany? Because I really wanted to go to Germany. I bought German cassette tapes. I listened to them in my little Nissan Sentra. I lived in Palo Alto. I had 3 roommates. There were 4 of us in this house. I drive down the 101 to Santa Clara, back Palo Alto, back and forth, listening to these German tapes. I'd go pick up German executives at the airport. I took German class on Tuesday night. I had a German girlfriend for a while. I was just Germany, 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 because I really wanted to go to Germany. And when I finally got the promotion, my California boss, the guy who hired me, in the little ceremony, they had a cake. It's like, I've never had an employee who showed up on day 1 talking about when could he leave. But as we all know, Dylan wants to go to Germany. And, you know, we're happy that he's going to go work on Herr Zenner's team for the next 3 years. So I was like a kid. I had no grace, no tact. I was just loudspeaker, anybody who'll listen, right? It wasn't pretty, but it was effective. And when I got there, I got a cost of living allowance. I got an apartment. I didn't have a car payment. I sold that little Sentra. And after withholding, my cash flow doubled. I paid off half of my loans and I got paid to live in Germany and I got paid to learn German. For me, little guy from East Texas, it was like, this is an apex experience. This is a wow MBA. Okay, the point of that, asking, the point of that, surrounding yourself with resources, the point of that, I want you to have your versions of these kind of results. And that's what this workshop's about. So yeah, doubled my salary, gave me one of the richest experiences of my life. I loved it because I'd lived in Mexico with a Mexican family. I spent a semester in Barcelona, right? I'd been a poor student living abroad, learning Spanish. It's a lot more fun to me, a whole lot more fun to live in a foreign country with money than it was to live in a foreign country with like no money. It was a lot more fun. So, all right. So we're going to practice asking for something that you want. So, all right. Audience participation time. You guys are listening. I'm saying a lot of words. I want to see some blue hands. These are the parameters. Two things we're looking for. Something you want that if you got it, it would make you light up. It'd be like a wow MBA. Okay, so it's something that actually matters to you first. And second, it's something that one person has the authority rights to grant. So I'm not looking for world peace or climate change because there's no one person who can just give you world peace or give us, you know, a better climate. Okay, I'm looking for specific examples. Okay, so let me get some. So Billy E, what is something you want and who could give it to you?
I want to ask for the funding to start my own brand. And I think I've got some friends at private equity firms who invest in the beverage space who might say yes.
Okay, good. So for the purpose of this exercise, just tighten it all the way. I love it. I want some funds to start my own brand. And then like, just instead of some friends, bring it all the way down to one person. And if it really, you know, you can change, but for the purpose of the exercise, every single one of us is going to choose something I want. And we're going to pretend when you go to your group, they're going to be that person. So they need to be an actual one person. So work on that, okay? And you'll pick one?
Yep.
Thank you, Billy. Michael R., something you want and who would be the person to grant it?
Hey, Dylan. I want a job at Disney Parks and Resorts, and imagine somebody in this network can help me achieve that.
Okay, that's good, but it's not quite what I'm looking for, okay? So try again. That's a good one, but I want something that there's one gatekeeper with authority rights, okay? So unless you know like a vice president at Disney, or if you know a hiring manager, if you know a gatekeeper at Disney, then it's great. But if you're still in the discovery phase, try to pick a different one. Is that okay?
Yes. Say that one more time. You're breaking up a little bit for me. I missed some of that.
I want unless you know one person who can give you a job at Disney, that's not the right example for this exercise.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Okay. What was number 2 on your list? If there's something that you want that will really make you smile, what's another thing that you're looking for in life or career?
I didn't have a number 2. So I'll have to think on that and I'll share with my group.
Perfect. Okay. Perfect. Well, you got to figure it out before you go to your group. Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you. And the whole point of me asking for examples is like, oh yeah, I want that too. All right. Jenny L.
Yes. Hi. I would like funding for building out production and operations with one of the companies that I manage, and I'll be asking the founder.
Great. Okay. So there's one person who has authority rights for the amount of funding that you would need?
Yes, it's all privately funded.
Perfect. Thank you, Jenny. Perfect. Thank you. Alex S.
Hi, Dylan. I would like to flex my schedule and be removed from the weekend requirement in acute care, and my director can do that for me.
Perfect. That's the kind of example I'm looking for. It's specific, and there's a gatekeeper that I know who could grant that. Is that accurate?
That's accurate.
Perfect. Perfect example. And Alex, if you got that flexibility out of the Cube Farm on the weekend, would that make you smile?
Yes.
Good. That's what I'm looking for. All right. I want a wow MBA result. Let's do a couple more. Kunal.
Dylan, yeah, so what I would love to what I would love is to be able to study under Professor Goldstein. And the reason for this is that I want to build up my persuasion skills. And in the longer term, my goal is to become a more effective fundraiser, so that way I could work with nonprofits and help them deal with the biggest challenge that nonprofits face, which is raising funds.
Excellent. Thank you, Kunal. Very, very good. And probably the gatekeeper for that would be who?
Professor Goldstein.
Yeah, exactly. He's in charge of his schedule, and he's in charge of his own, taking on of TAs. So you could talk to Perry, and, because Perry is the master, or Roy. Roy's been a TA too. There are a lot of the folks who are the TAs this week. You can ask them, how do you get started? Get on his calendar. You can make the ask, plant the seed now, and then harvest it, a year from now or whenever. Excellent. Thank you, Kunal. All right. I said 2 more, so we'll do 1 more. How about David P?
Let me unmute. All right, thank you for the opportunity. I need an international patent attorney to join my startup team. So I just need 1 person.
Okay, but now do you know who that 1 person is?
I do not know. I'm looking to find who will be qualified to do it.
Okay, this is sort of like the one about I want to work at Disney parks. I think that was the example. It's a good want, but it doesn't fit this exercise because we don't know who the gatekeeper could be. Okay.
Okay.
Do you have a number 2 want? Something else?
I'll have to go back and drill down for the number 2.
All right. Okay. So these have been great. These are great examples. These have all been pretty much professional. Roy, if you want to lower the hands, let's lower the hands. What I want to see now is somebody raise their hand who has a personal, because I'd like to get an example or 2 of a personal, something that you want. Let's see, Margarita.
Yes, I'm visiting my family this week, so I would like to switch out of the stats workshop on this Saturday and move into stats workshop next Saturday. And looks like Ellen can help me with that.
Excellent. Great. Thank you. Personal life. Hey, it's time to see family. Would that make you smile?
Absolutely.
Okay, great. Let's do 1 or 2 more. Personal. Barry L.
Hey, Dylan. Good to see you. Thanks for the opportunity. My stepdad just sold his company for 8 figures, and I wonder if he would like to help little old Barry pay for his MBA.
Yeah. To ask is not to steal, baby. I did not ask grandma, and my grandma did not have an 8-figure liquidity event. I love it. Thank you. Okay, good. I just want to get a couple more of these out. Kevin.
Hey, Dylan. My job is formally based in San Francisco, but with the start of Thumba, I would love to be relocated to Los Angeles. And the director of portfolio strategy in my org is responsible for that. So I'd love to get her blessing.
Beautiful. All right. That's what's going to make this exercise make the most value to you. Pick something you want. It doesn't have to be huge. It can be small, but I'm inviting you to pick something that really would like, wow, I can't believe that. 15% raise, tuition reimbursement, right? So here are a couple of other examples. A mentor, we talked about that. Flexible work, that got talked. Stretch assignments, I'd love to be in the room where it happens. I love Hamilton, right? Can I shadow you? Can I have a dotted line to you, right? A date, from the personal life. Sometimes there's that Mr. or Miss potential out there, but I haven't quite asked them for a date. Maybe you want a puppy, right? Right? I don't know. You got a roommate. Let's get a COVID puppy, right? So you want to make that ask. And if you had a puppy, it'd make you smile. Somebody yesterday, they've got 1 child and they want another. And who he wants to ask is his wife. She's the gatekeeper. She has full authority rights on that, right? And he wanted to ask because that would make him happy. So, and he was a little nervous. So you can use this for professional asks. You can use this for personal. So what's something I want and why would you give it to me? I want you to be thinking about that. So on page 2, on page 3, I think it is. Get my pages right. Yeah. So on the top of page 3, if you were using this as a workbook, You would write why. Why do I want to ask for this? Because it's going to give me more money, give me more flexibility. It's going to expand my family. It's going to make me happy. It's going to bring me peace. It's going to bring me joy. And what's the call to action? What do I need them to do? Right? I need them to grant the tuition reimbursement. I need them to empower the raise. I need them to give me the stretch assignment, change my work requirements, give me flexibility, allow us to have a puppy, allow us to have another child, go on a date with me. Okay? So that's what you put on the audience analysis. Then on page 4, you go a little deeper. You don't just walk in there cold and start asking for stuff. I did that in Germany, but it was like what a 26-year-old brand new MBA would do. You guys are a little further along in your career, so we're going to start to have a little polish, a little grace, okay? And one way that you honor the other party is you take some time to think about them before the conversation. Who are they? What's the topic? What's in it for them? What's their point of view? Where are we going to speak? How long are we going to speak? When are we going to speak? Is it going to be over the phone? Is it going to be over Zoom? Is it going to be face-to-face? Is this a high person and I got to get on their calendar? Am I going to get on their calendar 6 weeks from now and have 30 minutes and have 6 weeks to get ready for that moment, right? You start to ask for big stuff from big people. You start to play all those games and learn about gatekeepers and executive assistants and calendars and competing priorities and the best time of the day to ask them and the best day of the week to ask them, right? So you start to think about that beforehand. Are they pro? Are they con? Are they neutral? Are they uninformed? Are they hostile? Right? All of that's going to help you be more effective. Then what we're going to do next, so everybody by now, you need to have something that you want. If you can't come up with one, then your wanter is broken, and that's a different thing, and you need to go see a doctor. No, it's actually a pretty senior thing to want. Just like children can ask, children have no problem wanting. I want a Ferrari, I want a pony, right? Sometimes we get to be adults and we don't know what we want anymore. That's my wife's complaint about me because I don't know what I want to do on the weekend. So practice wanting. It's okay to have energy directed in a direction. I want a wife, I want children, I want a family, I want to be the VP, I want to have a career in marketing, I want to work at Disney Parks and Recs. It's okay to want for stuff, okay? So now what we're going to do is you've got this thing, I want X and I want it from this person or I want this person to grant it to me. I'm not going to take it from somebody, but there's someone who could grant that want. Now, what am I going to say? So this is the part where you're going to take the Post-its. If you got a Sharpie and Post-its, do it, one per Post-it. If you don't, you can use a pen and paper, right? A pen and paper will totally work. Just spread them out, one idea here and there and everywhere. What is better about the Post-its is that you can move them around. So if you want to do it digitally, just Roy's already typed it in there. Just click on Notely, the little link we gave you. And I want you to just get the ideas out of your head. You're not going to use all these ideas, but I'm going to be quiet for 2 minutes and you're going to brainstorm. And you're going to just drop ideas on the paper. I deserve a raise. I'm a really great employee. I'm super dependable. Our company believes in continual growth and development. I don't care if it's a raise or tuition reimbursement. Either will work. I'm making an investment in me. I'd like you to match that investment in me. Just get the ideas out, okay? No filtering, no editing, no curating. One idea per Post-it, just drop. I want you to drop 10 or 15 ideas, okay? Don't write the speech. Just get those random ideas out of your brain, okay? Stepfather, 8 figures, let me help, you help me, I help you. Just get the ideas out, okay? 1, 2, 3, go. This is what it's going to look like. You're just going to have Post-its all over the page. No filtering, just get them out there. If you don't like it, just wad it up, put it in the parking lot. But don't even worry about that. Just get something to work with.
Are these still ideas that need to have one person that is the gatekeeper, that the yes person?
These are components of the ask that you would make to one person. Yes. Don't
Got it,
overthink. Don't overthink it. You know, what do I want? Who can give it to me? And then what might I talk about when I went to talk to that person? Any other questions? Don't worry about getting the order right now. Just get the ideas out of your brain. Get them physically where you can look at them. All right, one more minute. All right. Okay. You can keep dropping the ideas, but for now, we'll just keep going. So the purpose of this method, one idea per post-it, just get them out of your brain. Sometimes it's like, oh, I got to talk. I'm in a hurry. This is important. I don't know where to start. One way to start is just drop ideas, one per post-it, and get them in front of you. And then you can move them around. So that's what we're going to do now. Now we're going to frame our message. We're going to organize our either digital or our paper stickies, either in a manila folder or on the screen or on a white piece of paper. If you use the folder, it's portable. You can take it with you. It's changeable. You can be sitting in the lobby with the executive assistant waiting for your turn and go, you know, that's not the strongest point. You can just move it to the parking lot. Put the parking lot maybe down at the bottom so you don't forget it, but you can move it around. Or if something comes to you in the meeting, you can write it down. It gives you a little, you can put it under your arm, your hands are free. You can be at a cocktail reception. You've got, you know, your little hors d'oeuvres over here. You're shaking hands over here. And now we'd like to bring to the stage Marcella T, who will be telling us her thoughts on leadership. And Marcella walks up, she opens it up. Good evening, my name is, and it's all right there, but mostly she's making eye contact, okay? This method really works. Let me show you two quick examples. This is me at Fimbapalooza something a few years ago. That's my little guy, Christian. He's now 8, so this is probably 5 years ago. And this is me talking to 800 or 900 people, outdoor festival. I've got a lavalier, no, not a lavalier. I've got a handheld mic. It's noisy. They're faculty, they're alumni, they're students, they're significant others, right? It's like a lot to handle. I can't be up there reading off my phone. That's not going to work. I gotta be big. I gotta have motion. I gotta have energy. Hey, 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 let me get your attention. Hey, please set down your beer. We're gonna talk. You know, it's one of those kinds of things. And that speech is on my little folder right there. And if you zoom in, the way you read it is left to right, left column, middle column, right column, top to bottom. So I know it's grainy, but it says, welcome to Fimbapalooza, the biggest ever. My name is Dylan. I'm assistant dean. Welcome alumni, current students, new admits. This is 2018. Is this the biggest? We don't know, but we definitely have the most women. I love it when there's a new record for women. Okay, and then the middle, we're gonna connect, we're gonna reconnect. We're gonna play the Fimba Fusion game. And then the far right column, I wanna thank DJ X, Francisco Xavier, who was our DJ that year. We have 20 years of alumni here today. And then I wanna thank Christy, Raymond, Maureen, Matt, Vanessa, Cynthia. And then the bottom right, my call to action. Now I'd like to introduce Senior Associate Dean Margaret Shee, right? So that was an actual speech that I gave. It's not a speech, it was an announcement, but this method worked. That was 800 or 900 people. My wife couldn't come that day, so I was doing this and doing childcare with Christian. It was chaotic, and yet I got my points shared. This one was a little calmer. This is, I think, 2 years ago, because the person by my left elbow, that's Hadley Stork, one of the 4 ambassador leaders this year. This is me in Corn Hall doing the Pre-Palooza welcome event. And, you know, I've, again, cordless mic, but now I've got the added complexity. I don't have to do a childcare, but I got to walk up and down stairs because I want to be big energy. I want to get the room going. I want people to pay attention to me and listen. So I'm not going to just be a stick behind a podium, right? And this method works. So that's the speech right there. And, you know, people are laughing. They're looking down, see if he's going to trip. It's exciting. It's performance art. Okay. So now what I want you to do, you've got 10 or 15 Post-its. We're about 3 minutes away from going to make our speech. Okay. Now I want you to cluster your ideas. Left side, right side. This is a 2 to 3 minute speech. It's not even really a speech. You're just talking to somebody. You're going to tell the people in your group, okay, you guys are my boss. Her name is Catherine. Or you guys are my wife. Her name is Marissa. Or you guys are my brother. His name is Joseph. Whatever. Okay. And you got your first main point, your second main point. Stronger ideas go high, weaker ideas go to the bottom. Some ideas don't even make the cut. It's all good. If you get some new ideas, you add them in. Hard evidence, soft evidence. Different people are persuaded by different things. Hard evidence, statistics, facts, research. Soft evidence, stories, poetry, music, right? Memories, Shakespeare. There's no right or wrong way to talk. There's 1,000 ways to make an argument. But for purposes of this, I want you to frame it, my first main point, my second main point, okay? So 1, 2, 3, start moving your Post-its around. You just kind of, I just want this to have a little cohesion. I want it to have a little structure. I'll give you 2 or 3 minutes for this. We're very close to being ready to go to our groups. I'm reading you guys' comments. You're cracking me up. I can't read these while I'm talking. So I read them on the breaks, and you're just making me laugh. Is the hat option? I love it. Okay, about 1 more minute. And you can keep working on this while you're in your group, so you don't have to get it perfect right now. This is a very forgiving model. It lets you adjust in real time. All right, so you can keep working, but I'm going to keep talking. Congratulations, you wrote a speech. It may not be Shakespeare, it may not be President Obama, whatever. Pick your favorite orator, but you've written a speech. You've got something to work with. Why am I talking? What am I talking about? Who am I talking to? What's in it for me? What's in it for them? What's the call to action? What's my first main point? What's my second main point? Okay? So remember, you don't have to get all the way in one conversation. Leaders are patient. Sometimes a victory is to go from heck no to regular no. Sometimes a victory is to go from no to maybe. Sometimes a victory is to go from maybe to maybe yes. Sometimes a victory is maybe yes to yes. It's okay. You don't have to do it all at once. Leaders keep coming back, right? I kept asking to go to Germany. Jackson is going to keep asking me for whatever the next Call of Duty thing is. It's just It's just what happens when you really want something and you're committed. You don't quit. Okay, so persuasion is often on a continuum, and leaders can be patient. We're going to practice constructive feedback with each other. I love the diamonds, polished diamonds metaphor. There's something that is the spark that makes you smile. There's something that's the spark that makes me smile. If you support me and I support you, the world gets brighter because we're all awake and we're alive and we're trying to figure out solutions to complexity. And we're not just stuck. We're in motion, right? And the only thing that can polish a diamond is another diamond. So we're going to have an opportunity this fall quarter with these 5 or 6 people in our group to really help each other shine and sparkle and have what we want in life. And we're going to practice that right now. And these are the 2 ways I want you to give feedback. If you see something great, and you don't have to, everybody didn't have to exactly give feedback for every single person, but I do want you to give feedback from some of you for each one. Here's what I saw that really worked. You were so clear. You were so compelling. It's so clear that you love this idea. It's so clear that your commitment is to make the company better, whatever, okay? So catch people doing something right. Managers find what they look for. Leaders find what they look for. If you look for creativity, excellence, and effort from your team members, you will be surrounded by creative, effortful people. If you look for people to make flaws, you'll be surrounded by people who are incompetent. So catch people doing something right. That's the positive. Then when you see something where they can improve, instead of saying, you know, that kind of sucked and bringing people down, say, you know what I think was missing was like, it didn't really end. It just sort of tapered off. So maybe you want to think about how to conclude it, right? So it's okay to give people constructive feedback, but help them get where they're trying to go. Listen for their commitment and share from there. Okay, so a quick word about Picasso and Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs quoted Picasso, right? Good artists borrow and great artists steal. Now, in grad school, plagiarism gets you kicked out. So when it comes to intellectual property and citations, that's a different conversation. That's not this conversation. This conversation is brilliant people borrow from other brilliant people. They're always open to a better way to do something. You're going to have so many examples with your classmates where you go, that's so cool how she does that. And then you're going to ask her, how do you do that? And she's going to say, here's how I do that. And then you're both going to be smarter. She's going to learn how to be a teacher. You're going to learn what she taught. Everybody gets better. Okay. So the point is that in this little exercise for these 30 minutes, people are going to do neat stuff and you're going to go, I could do that. Good. Practice. Try it on. See what happens. So here's the exercise. It's called The Board Will See You Now. You're going to get broken out into rooms. Roy's got that set up. You're going to have 30 minutes plus a 10-minute break. So the goal is get done in 30 minutes, 5 minutes each. Most important role, pick a timer. Some of you know that you're a good timer. If you know you're a good timer, just go ahead and be the timer. Okay, say, hey guys, I'll be the timer. The timer is a person who doesn't mind telling people 1 minute and 5 minutes and we're done and next, okay? So we need somebody to keep the trains on time. You got 6 5-minute blocks of time, 1 for each of you. You're going to talk for about 2 to 3 minutes, and then you're going to get feedback for the rest of the time. So if you're the person who is, if it's your turn, if you're going to go first, you're going to get your phone out, you're going to put it on video, you're going to put it on mirror so you can see yourself, right? And you're going to say, okay, all right, I got that set up. And then you're going to tell the timer in the group, okay, you guys are my boss. Her name is Catherine, and I'm asking for tuition reimbursement. Okay, and the timer's going to say ready, go, and then you're going to push the button and you're going to record yourself. So set it where you can get a video of yourself. Try not to be looking up your nose. Try to set it where you're looking at yourself. Okay, do your talk, get the feedback. When you get to 5 minutes, switch to the next person. Okay, give constructive feedback, right? What did I say 2 slides back? Here's what I saw that really worked. Something that's missing that you might consider. Okay, build them up, help them get where they want to go. Switch and repeat, 5 minutes each, 30 minutes total. So, Roy, help me out on time. Where are we at? We're at 2:48?
2:48.
Okay.
49.
You want to just come back at 3:30? Does that sound right? Give them 2 minutes? Okay, so you get 2 bonus minutes. So if you need a little more time, but everybody, you should have about a 10-minute break built in. Okay? You guys are smart. This is graduate school. You got everything you need. have fun, be generous, and we will see you back here at 3:30.
You can pause recording.
Oh yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're at 60 seconds.
Fantastic.
Recording's on. Your lights are on. Okay.
And you see those people in the waiting room, right?
Yep, I'm watching them. They popped out. Group 5 got really excited to leave our Zoom, so I'm going to let them wait there for a second.
Perfect, perfect.
Okay, Dylan, I'm going to go ahead and mute myself.
All right, welcome back, welcome back. Okay, here we are. Okay, let's have some blue hands. I'd like to hear, what did you see? What was that experience like? What did you learn? I'd like reflections, observations. This was easy, this was hard. Yeah, but what about? All right, who would like to go first? I see Brianna. Brianna, what was that like?
Personally, I am not the best speech maker, so it was a little difficult for me to get out of my comfort zone. I have a tendency to speak very fast, especially when I'm uncomfortable. But speaking on my teammates, I thought they did a great job. We reflected back on what they did great and what they needed to work on. And I think as a whole, we were very collaborative and gave constructive feedback. I know this is just the first one, but I know that I can see the improvement with my team already. So I'm excited to embark on this journey with them.
Thank you, Brianna. Good for you. Thank you. You raised your hand. You went first. This is not your comfort zone, and you're on the court, right? This is where the learning happens. I'm not getting my MBA someday. I'm getting my MBA on Wednesday, right here, right now. Good job. Thank you. And I'm glad that you actually see some progress even within the round. That's excellent. And we're going to make a stair step from the first to the second. Thank you, Brianna. How about Pablo? What'd you see?
How are we doing, sir? Thank you for taking your time to making us smarter. I'm very thankful to have a very, very open-minded team. We all share not only things that we want professional, but personal. And one constant that I saw throughout all of us, that how we portray our speech or how we ask for what we want is dependent on how we present it, and is dependent on somebody else. So working on this project, I think if we can tailor a little bit on getting the message across, will be a lot better to achieving our not only personal or professional goals.
Excellent. And you're building trust with each other, right? And you don't want to say too much too soon. You're still getting to know each other, and you're creating a supportive environment on your team where people are comfortable to be open about both professional and personal. You're going to overlap. Your lives are going to overlap this fall quarter. It's COVID. We're going to be on Zoom. You know, your husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, your brother, sister, they're going to be in the background. So we're getting to know each other and it's a process. Great, Pablo. Glad to hear that. How about Karunya?
Dylan, what we thought really worked was the sticky notes. I think that helped gather thoughts. It helped frame what we wanted to say throughout the conversation with the person we're going to ask. So I think the sticky notes really helped.
Hi, Mom. Good. Thank you. Just, you're trying it out. This doesn't have to become your method, and it's good to have this method, because if it's jumbly, I'm on the airplane and I got to do this before I land, I can just move them around. It's a starting point. I'm glad you saw the value of that. Thank you. Anything else, Karunya?
Nope, that's all.
Okay, thank you. How about Andrew M? What did you see?
I'm a huge fan of failing early, and especially failing in a safe space. So we all had a chance to go, and essentially some of us did good, some of us need some work, but at the end of the day, we all got great feedback, and we all just going through this exercise. It just goes to show you, like, practice with anybody, even if you're already comfortable with it. Practice, because for those of us who we thought had something great, there was still something to learn from it. And it just gave us the opportunity to add to our Post-it notes and really just beef it up and make it more impactful. And so that the experience in itself, just do it early, do it often, and it just gets refined each time.
Thank you, Andrew. Yes. Yeah. Fail early, fail often, go big or go home, right? Let's we're all wherever we are. We're on the continuum and there's more to go. Thank you for seeing that. Great job. Thank you, Andrew. How about Brandon G?
Hey, Dylan, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, cool. I thought what really worked in our session was we gave a little bit of background to the person we're going to be asking to. Like, so mine was going to be to my new boss, who, like, I'm just joining his company. Another person in our group was actually talking to his girlfriend. And so that the body language looked different in that, right? It was much more tender and, like, yeah, it was really good to have that background.
Yeah. Who is my audience? What's the relationship? Personal, professional, and we're about to talk about executive presence. Our body literally talks more than our words, and we're going to say more about that. And yeah, if I'm going to talk to a loved one, tender may be exactly what I want to communicate, right? So excellent. Anything else, Brandon? Anything else, Brandon?
I did like the
Okay, no, you're good. Oh, you went off. Sorry.
I did like the Post-it notes. The flow. I think there needs to be a little better. The flow needs some improvement.
Okay, excellent. We're also going to talk about how to end it. We're going to give you that before the next one. Let's do one more. Who's next? Amanda J. What'd you see?
So what was really interesting is people were bringing their real world experience in my group and sharing what had worked for them in similar scenarios or what hadn't. In one case, one of the members of my group, he set up his speech where it was a little less conversational, and based on what he wanted, we recommended to him that maybe a conversational type of style would work better. So it was that type of learning that I think we all got to experience, which was really helpful.
Thank you, Amanda. That is great. I'm in love with Hamilton. Hamilton is my theme song, my theme. I've listened to Hamilton 50 times during COVID. And Lin-Manuel Miranda, he workshopped that for a decade. He would have a song and he thinks it's great. And then he'd go on a Friday night and he'd get a bunch of people and he'd play the song and people would talk about it and they would discuss it and they would ask questions. And he was polishing his art. He was polishing the diamond, right? And I love to hear that you're working that with your team. Like, here's a real world example from my experience. Here's a suggestion: conversational, maybe a little more conversational, a little less business presentation. And you're adjusting and you're finding, what's the message, what's the moment, what's the way to have it really come across. And if you think about workshopping and you think about tweaking and changing, then it's more malleable, and you can adjust and you can try and again experiment with the lab. Okay, thank you, Amanda. Thanks everybody. We're going to now give you 3 new things and then send you back to your group. And in this second speech, you're going to see yourself take a stair step up, and you're going to see those around you. And Sunday afternoon, when you watch the 2 videos, you'll see the difference. Okay, so same speech, same thing you're asking for, same person that you're talking to, but you're going to change 3 things. You're going to change something about your executive presence. I'm going to tell you about that. I'm going to give you a way to end the speech. And it's a very specific phrase, and it's called a speech act request. You're going to end with a speech act and a specific speech act request. And I'm going to explain that. And then I'm going to give you a little bit about message framework, which is I'm going to call it good for you, good for me. Okay? So here we go. So how many of you have ever heard that expression that most of our communication is not our words? Anybody wave hands if you ever heard a version of that, right? If you've ever taken a speech comm class, they talk about this, that 80% of our communication is nonverbal. That's very often the shorthand. I love that for 2 reasons. One, in my experience, it's true. Like you said, you know, like the personal one was tender, the body language was tender. I love it because that's my experience, that there's something about people. Some people just command attention. Other people don't. I want you all to be people who command attention. So in my experience, some people have presence and their body language and their whole thing communicates. Other people don't. So I love it because I observe it to be accurate. And secondly, because it's UCLA research. So Dr. Albert Mehrabian, as you see here on the screen, and who is on page, whatever it is, in your book, page 8 in your PDF, Albert Mehrabian, very seminal book in communications, 1981. It's called Silent Messages, Implicit Communication of Emotions and Attitudes. And this was groundbreaking research. And he really opened everyone up to this idea that there's more to a speech than the words on the page. And it's not just like formal speech writing, it's speech making. It's also just day-to-day interpersonal, right? Somebody can say, I love you with a frown, and they don't mean I love you. You know, that like their body, like, oh, I love you. No, right? It's like you can say the right words, but if your communication, if your body, your tone, your voice, your eye contact, your facial, all of that can totally communicate something very not what your words are trying to communicate. So when he did his research, he came up with 7% are the words out of our mouth. But 38% is my voice, is the tone, and 55 is my body language. So I'm going to take all of that. I'm going to call it, for you, for this workshop, I'm going to call voice, tone, and body language, I'm going to call that executive presence. And it's page 9 here. And I'm going to give you a list of about 20 things. And in your second speech, I want you to change one thing. And I don't want you to tell your group what you changed, but I want you to change one thing. Like go into the speech, I'm going to change whatever it is, and then change that when you give the same speech. And then I want them to guess with each other. I think you changed this or that. Okay? See if you guess right. So here are the 4 buckets. Your point of view, body language. I'm going to combine voice, eye contact, along with clothing, dress, and then just a general don't warm up, start at 100%. So point of view. Remember I said, don't waste a moment at the microphone. If you're going to talk, make it count. Have your why figured out. I know why I am talking to this audience, and I know what I'm talking about, and I know what my call to action is. Executives don't waste a moment. They know why they're there, what they want to have happen, what the call to action is. So these are some things that this is what you're doing for the 1,000 days of FEMBA, right? You're figuring out, what do you have to say? You're developing a point of view. I'm prepared. I'm ready. I'm a leader. I need support. I need money. I need resources. I need authority rights. I need you to get behind me on this. I need you to be my champion, be my patron, right? You're asking all the time for the rest of your career. You know that persuasion is a continuum. You don't have to get the yes right now. You're on the way to yes. You know that every opportunity is an opportunity. There's never a second chance to make a first impression. There's always a dress rehearsal. You just get to say when. You practice before you go in to talk to the boss, okay? All of that, I'm getting a graduate degree. I'm getting a graduate degree in management. I'm getting it at UCLA. I'm getting it in FEMBA. I'm getting it while I keep my job. I'm getting it with these incredible faculty, these incredible classmates. All of that becomes your point of view. All of that comes across louder than your words. Wow, she's serious. That she does not mess around. That's a person of substance. I want to hear what she has to say. She is heavy in her spot. She owns the space, okay? So there's nothing you exactly do to develop your point of view other than live your life forward. Listen to your dreams and then figure out what steps am I going to take towards those dreams and be willing to succeed. I love to fail fast, fail often. Be willing to fail, but know that you're going somewhere. That's your point of view. Okay, so now body language. Body language. Okay, I promised you 3 things. Show you how to get a 15% raise and how to lose 10 pounds, how to be a little bit taller. All right, this is it. I know it's going to be dark, but it maybe works better, right? Well, let's see. Let me change it just a tad. Right? This is the silhouette. You walk in, right? Now, I'm going to change what? I'm going to change my posture. Pull my back in, pull in my abs, pull my shoulders back. It changes my silhouette, right? There's this, I look 10 pounds heavier. There's this, I'm 10 pounds lighter. And it's the same thing, if I can get where the shadows are right. You know, it's the same thing. You walk in and you're kind of, you know, you don't make eye contact, you're looking left or right. Or you walk in with your shoulders back, right? Posture, the easiest way to lose 10 pounds is to stand up straight. Look where my head is. Look how far my head is from the top of the screen, right? This is bad posture. I'm scared. I'm in the defensive. You know, I'm kind of covering myself. I'm afraid I'm going to get, you know, somebody's going to get me. Or I'm in the neutral position. My feet are shoulder width apart. They're underneath my hips. My arms are relaxed at my side. I'm not defending anything. I'm not, you know, standing in a kind of defensive posture. I'm not military. I'm not at attention. I'm a relaxed business professional. I'm so happy to talk to you today. I walk up to this microphone. I walk up to the center of the stage. My posture is good. My shoulders are back. My abs are tight. Project my voice. I'm making eye contact with my audience. Our body, I want you to just for this exercise, pretend that you're not your body. It's possibly true anyway, but like just this is a machine. It's a puppet, and I get to tell it what to do. I can't control how tall it is. I can't control the color. I can't control if it's a boy version or a girl version or something else. None of that. But I can control how it stands. I can control where its eyes look. I can control whether it smiles. It's got this ability to dance. I can make it wiggle. I can make it interesting for an audience to look at. It'll do all these things, right? It's a puppet. I can experiment with it, and I can start to notice whenever they have the presidential debates, at some point in the debates, just mute it. Biden, watch him wag his finger when he makes a point. Trump, you know, when he just mute him and watch. Don't listen to the words sometimes. Just watch. He's doing all these karate chops. Those got nothing that those politicians at that level do is on accident. All of that is practiced, and it's designed to communicate. Confidence, authority, a point of view, follow me, trust, right? So it can be learned, and your body is capable of it, okay? So body language, have fun with that. Voice. Your voice is your most powerful tool. It sounds like what it sounds like. You can't necessarily change it. Not all of us have a James Earl Jones voice, but what we do have, we can work with. We can pause. We can pull our audience in as we tell them the most important point, right? We can change the pace. We can change the volume. We can get quiet. We can get loud. We can get fast. We can get excited. Come on, guys. We have variety, but our voice is such an important tool, okay? Eye contact. Your audience is out here. Your audience is not on the paper. Your audience is not up in the sky. You know, the reason you don't ever give a speech off your phone, excuse me, wait a minute. Oh, email. Oh, no. Oh, Facebook. No. Slack. Oh, no. Oh, excuse me. What was that? Yeah, no, you never do that because you're not making eye contact. You practice before you speak because people get nervous. They look at the sky, right? And all of a sudden, you know, nothing is worse than watching someone speak who's nervous. If you're prepared, if you've practiced, if you have your points on the stickies, you won't be nervous on the outside. You'll be nervous on the inside, but it won't show. And what people want, they want to watch somebody who wants to be up there. This is what people are thinking anytime you're on stage. Always tell yourself this. This is what they're thinking. Whew, I'm so glad it's her, not me. They want you to win. They're just glad it's not them having to make the speech because most people don't like to make speeches. They don't like to talk in public. It's a superpower. It's a superpower to get in front of people and ask for what you want. It's part of why you're getting an MBA. Okay, body language, voice, eye contact. Okay, dress. I want to talk about dress real quick. This is something you can plan in advance. The colors, the cut, the formality, does it match the audience? Dress for the job you want to get. My very first boss at Siemens, Bonnie Hathcock, she was the vice president of human resources for a 6,000 person company. And she used to teach dress for success. She was a very tall woman, big red fingernails, always in a power suit. Judy Olean, my boss's boss for 13 years, one of only 2 women deans in the top 20 schools, and we had her for over a decade. Judy Olean, she wore $1,000 suits. She dressed well. She looked the part, okay? I picked that suit out on Sunday, right? That's my UCLA blue suit with my light blue shirt and my yellow tie with the light blue accents. And I tested it out on Sunday, made sure it still fit because I've been eating too much during COVID. You know, I had it all ready to go in the laundry bag, right? The matching brown shoes, the matching belt, even though you guys aren't going to see that because we're on Zoom, I was 100% dressed for that moment. That's my 17th time to give that speech. It's your one and only time to hear that speech. I feel like I'm honoring the moment if I'm dressed for the moment. Maybe this weekend, maybe on Saturday, you need to go buy yourself a new suit. Go buy yourself a power suit. Maybe that's your congratulations to yourself. Put it in the closet and go, that's the suit I'm going to wear when I interview for that next thing that's going to happen over the next year or so. Okay? My wife is a management consultant. She makes a lot of money helping C-suite executives get unknotted up when they get all knotted up. She's really good at what she does. She hired a color consultant a couple years ago. This person came to our house. She measured my wife's skin color in natural light, in artificial light. She did a summer reading and a winter reading because, you know, people, human beings, our skin changes color when there's a little sun or not a lot of sun or a lot of sun. So we want to have our winter color palette, our summer color palette. She took 18 bags of clothes to Goodwill, got rid of them, replaced them with these power suits. She's got a suit to land the deal. She's got a suit to build trust. She's got a suit to create relatedness. She's got different colors. They're all within her palette. She doesn't buy out of her palette anymore. Better cuts. Really, really cool. She took me to Joseph A. Banks, bought 4 new suits 2 years ago now. I didn't realize all my suits had gotten kind of outdated. They had pleats. They had a lot of extra material. They were kind of not really good colors for my skin. And I got these new suits and they're trim. They really feel good, right? It makes a difference when you're wearing the right clothes for the moment. So you want to dress for the job that you're going to get. And what you wear, that's something that you can take care of in advance. Okay? Probably between now and your second speech, you're not going to change clothes, but you are at home. So I don't know. Maybe you do that. And lastly, this is from athletics, right? We're going to have a basketball playoff game tonight. There's a game 7. Those athletes, when they hit the court, they don't warm up during the first quarter. They're already sweaty. They warm up beforehand. Same thing when you speak in public. You don't come out there nervous, bad body language, small, timid, mousy voice, not sure what you're going to say. You come out there 100% ready to go. Okay? So this is executive presence. So you got this list. You're going to pick something off this list. You're going to change it when you do the second speech. I know there's some hands up, but I'm going to keep going just to let me see where I get on time. Okay, so one thing is executive presence. Second thing is what I have here. Oh, where do I have it? Excuse me 1 second. It's on page 11. This is what I'm going to introduce now. I introduced body language. That's Dr. Moravian from UCLA. Now I'm going to introduce something from Berkeley. So this is called a speech act. And this is from a philosopher named John Searle, an essay in the philosophy of language. So there's language that describes the world, and then there's language that creates the world. And he has these distinctions called speech acts. There's certain things we can do in language that actually make the world happen the way we want it to happen. One of those is called a request. So I'm going to introduce something to you now. It's going to feel awkward. It's possibly going to not roll off your tongue very easily. You're going to say, this is hard to do. I don't like this. That's all fine. I'm the coach. This is practice. I'm telling you to jump through the tires the way they tell football players, run through the tires. You never ever see tires on the football field during the real game. But we run through the tires in practice because when we get to the real game, we'll have better dexterity because we did that in practice. So you're going to practice this speech act request. Asking is good. I told you asking is a superpower. Asking is what children do. Requesting is better. It's faster. It's cleaner. It works. Asking and asking and asking is just beating someone up until they give in. You don't want to be that person in your organization because people will give you what you want just to make you go away. You want to build relationships. You want to build trust. You want to build long-term opportunities to support one another. Requesting is how you get there. So this is what it looks like. It's on page 11. And this is going to sound awkward, but you got to say it this way for the practice, okay? Just trust me on this. Try it out. I'm the coach telling you to try it out. There are 2 sentences. These are going to be the last 2 sentences of your speech. So to wrap up, my request is that you fill in the blank by when fill in the blank. So that's the first sentence. I request that you submit the paperwork for the 15% raise that we've been discussing by September 30th. Full stop. That's the first sentence. I request that you do X by Y, by a specific by when. Full stop, end of sentence. Second sentence, do you accept my request? Okay, so let me practice it. I request, you're talking to your roommate. I request that you give me a decision about whether or not you're willing to let us have a puppy by September 15th. So you have some time to think about it. Do you accept my request? Okay? Or we had one yesterday, husband wants to ask the wife if they can have a second child. A personal, very personal example. Oh, love of my life, I request that you really consider us expanding our family and having another baby. My request is let's look at this by the end of the year, by December 31st. Do you accept my request? There's no mystery. This is what I want, and I'd like to know by this time. And now I've done my part. I've gotten clear communication up on the court, up on the mat. And now the second sentence, do you accept my request? There's 3 things a person can say. Yes, no, or counteroffer. It's totally respectful. You're not manipulating, you're not forcing, you're putting your request on the table, and then you're stepping back and asking, do they accept? And they can say, yes, they do, no, they don't, or they can counteroffer. This really works. It really does. Here's an example from my personal life. This is me on my wedding day. That's my wife, Marissa. She wanted a picture with funny faces. So we got the red nose and the Groucho Marx. Okay. I'm from Texas. She's from New Jersey. Back in 2001, we're dating, and she made this she made this request of me, not an ask, a request. Dylan, I request you date me exclusively for 90 days. Do you accept my request? I was 32 years old. I was a decade off schedule. My mom and dad got married in college. I was a decade past when my parents started the family I grew up in. I was single. I was wondering why. And then I meet this lady, and she says this to me. I've dated a lot of lovely people along the way, never had anybody say anything remotely like this to me. And this is now my forever wife. It got my attention, right? And what do you think I said? Do you think I said yes? Do you think I said no? Actually, I counteroffered. I met my wife on May 12th of 2001. This would have been in probably July or August at the end of the summer. What was also going on in my life that year, I got sober on February 28th of 2001. I said, I'm going to see if I can live my life without alcohol anymore. I got a sponsor, did the 12 steps, the whole deal. And I made a promise to that sponsor, I'm going to live an entire year without alcohol, see if I can do it. And he said, great. And here's what else I recommend you do. Don't make any big decisions that year. Don't change jobs, don't move, and definitely don't start a relationship. See if you can live without all that. So this powerful New Jersey woman who I really thought was cool, I liked her. There's nothing about that. And she asked me this crazy thing. I request you date me exclusively for 90 days. And the other part was, and at the end of the 90 days, we'll see if we want to keep dating or not. Do you accept my request? And I counteroffered. I said, look, I like you. I think this is really cool. I think we got a lot going. And I'm learning how to live without alcohol this year. So I have a pre-existing promise that I'm going to go all the way till February 28th. So I cannot accept your request. I would love to keep dating you, but I'm also just learning to date. And I'm not like a player or anything like that, but I'm learning to date because my old pattern was I go from one date to wanting to get married and forget all about the get to know you stage called dating. And I'm realizing that that's part of life that I don't know anything about. And I got a pre-existing promise. So it was like a negotiation, and we kept dating, and I dated another person, and there was stuff, and it all got worked out. And I didn't even make it to a year. Basically, after Christmas, I realized, nope, I love Marissa. So I completed that other relationship and got 100% into dating Marissa. We got engaged that next year. I moved to California in 2002 with her promotion. It was her promotion that brought us to LA. So I give you that example. Biggest lottery I ever won was getting a great person to live life with. And how she got me, I don't know if I'm a catch or not, but she said she liked me. But how she caused that was this speech act. It cut through all the noise, and our whole life is built out of that. So that was the second thing. First thing, executive presence. Second thing, speech act request. This is the last one. This is about message framework. I implied it already, but I want to really bring it home here. You always want your first main point to be your strongest main point. There's a lot of reasons for that. It gets it said early. A lot of times the meeting gets cut off. You don't even get to do the whole thing. But here's how I also want you to think about it. Your strongest point is your first point, and your strongest point is the point that's what's good for the other person. So what's good for you? Not what's good for me, but what's good for you. You're my manager. I'm asking for a raise. I think you're an excellent manager. You're the best manager I've ever worked for. I want to be a star on your team. This is a company that believes in empowerment and continual education. I really want you to be the exemplar of that. And I'm coming to you today with a pretty big ask. I'm asking for support for my MBA, either more salary or tuition reimbursement or some combination. And of course, I'm going to get value out of this, but I'm asking also because it's going to make you look good, because you're going to be one of the managers who champions for their people. And I'm going to be an example of how people grow when they're on your team. So that's the first point I wanted to make. The second point is, hey, you know, life's expensive and this is going to help me out. And it's going to make a big difference for me. And it's going to give me a lot of reason to really want to stay here and give my best effort. Not that I'm not already giving my best effort. So this is the third thing that you're going to change. If you've already got it this way, don't change it. But the third thing in the next speech is good for you first, good for me second. Okay? So those are the three things. So we're going to get ready. I'll take a couple questions. We're going to send you back in your groups. You're going to change one thing about executive presence. You're going to end with the speech act. I request that you do this by then. Do you accept my request? Yes. And then they can say yes, no, or counter. You're going to still do constructive feedback. Same thing, alphabetical by first name, A, B, C, D, E. Keep the same timer, pick a new timer. Either way is fine. Okay? And that's what we're going to do. So let me just take a couple questions. Amber B.
No question, Dylan. I might have just had that up from earlier. I apologize.
Oh, no worries. Okay. Oh, everything went away. Any questions?
I cleared it. So if they have a question now, they can raise their hand.
Okay, Shub. Yes, question, please.
Hey, Dylan. So the question is the speech act request, right? So at then we say, okay, I request you to do by the December end or some date. And then at the end we say, do you accept our request, right? Sometimes it's not always the case that you are talking to your immediate boss. You might be talking to like two bosses ahead in your hierarchy, right? So asking to them like, do you accept my request? Is it too strong of a ask, or shall we just reword it something like, how does this sound to you? Something like this. What is your take on it?
My request is that you do the exercise the way it's designed, even if it feels awkward, just to give yourself the experience of it.
Okay.
Because our tendency will be to kind of to modify it and soften it.
Yeah.
Okay. But I think the value to be gotten is just to start to build a muscle around making a clean request, because you're not forcing, you're not being rude. There's nothing inappropriate about making a request when you are 100% okay with whatever they say. Yes, no, counteroffer. I'm not going to get emotional. I'm not going to get my feelings hurt. I'm a professional. I'm walking in here with my professional attitude, my professional dress. I have prepared my remarks. I know what I want. I've thought about what's in it for them. I'm thinking about them more than myself. I've actually taken the time to ask, why would this help them? Right? So just practice. Okay?
Got it.
Okay. David,
Thank you.
What question do you have?
So I've got my request is going to be a personal request. And I just, I had a tenderness moment with my team and I'm loving it, but I'm having difficulty with the concept of, being authentic practiced. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How do you handle that?
I have that sometimes. Oh, if I practice, then it's not authentic. I'll tell myself that. One of the greatest speeches in American history is the Gettysburg Address. And they say, they've got the little card. Lincoln kept it in his, he had his big hat. He kept it in his hat, and on the train ride over there, he was still working on it. If it's important, you'll practice. I know what you're talking about. I get that myself. Oh, I want to be authentic, right? But I invite you to consider, and maybe it's easier to practice professional. I didn't exactly practice proposing to Marissa. I just proposed. So maybe in certain personal things you don't want to practice, but maybe you do, right? But again, do your best. Take it to your team, your board of directors, get their feedback. If it comes across inauthentic, they're going to tell you. And then you can ask yourself, is it inauthentic because I practiced? Or is it inauthentic because I didn't practice enough? Part of this thing about executive presence, about your point of view, right? Like nobody can develop your point of view for you. And the longer you work with something, like, why do I want to work at Google? Do I want to work at Google because it sounds good? Right? So just try it on like a jacket in the store. I'm looking at this in the three-way mirror. If it doesn't fit for me, take it off and leave it. Okay? You don't have to do anything. I'm just recommending it like a coach. All right?
Thank you.
Thank you. Great question, David. Okay, Roy, I see 4:07 on the atomic clock, something like that. Does that sound about right?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so 4:07 plus 30 minutes. So 4:37, we're going to come back together, 5 minutes each, either a new timer or the same timer. Everything's the same except those three changes. Executive presence, speech act request, what's good for you first, what's good for me second. All righty? 1, 2, 3, go, stand and deliver.
You can pause the recording.
Okay. Oops, there we go. I may come up a little closer, then it's a little bit better.
Yeah, that actually is the right frame for you.
Okay.
We just won't see your hand, so you might want to do your hand gestures a little higher.
I'll do my hand gestures really close.
20 seconds. I'm going to mute myself.
Thank you.
Sit on. I want to put on.
All right, welcome back. Welcome back. All right, welcome back from the break. Well, not the break, the second speech. Okay, so it's 4:38. We got 22 minutes. All right, Nishal, what did you see?
Hey, I think the biggest difference that I saw that was kind of across the board was the level of confidence and the flow. The second time around, every person that gave their speech, it just sounded very natural and flowed really well. And there was a level of confidence. I don't know if that came from, sitting taller or putting a tie on or being the second time around, but everyone did a really great job and incorporated all the feedback from the first time around. So
Did somebody put on a tie in your group?
he did. Looked
Nice.
very spiffy. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot, you have access to your closet. Yeah, so body language we can always change. I keep a suit behind the door. I keep an extra shirt. I keep an extra tie. These are like little executive tips and tricks. Because you can keep a blazer behind the door in your office, and you can dress up even if you're sort of casual. You can always just throw a blazer on. So these are things you can do, and I love that you saw the improvement with the structure, with the flow. The thing about knowing that you're going to end with the speech act request, it helps you know where the finish line is. So practice, structure. So good work in your team. It sounds like you guys are integrating, and I love the round one feedback. Like let's fail fast, fail forward, take it and try it. Thank you, Nishal. I love it. Kevin C., what did you see?
I really liked how my group members started to include, let's say you're reaching out to a manager's manager, the fact that the manager already approved a request, almost kind of setting up this mentality of, hey, others have accepted me, and then extending the request to make it feel like there's growing momentum and excitement about what you're going to propose. And then I also liked how folks covered the benefits to you, then me, but they also included tidbits back to the benefits to them again before the conclusion. And it felt like it was this cycle that was being completed as a result.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you, Kevin. Yeah, Stephen Covey, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, win-win outcome. You know, there's a lot of thinking about it takes longer. This is part of the value of diversity. It takes longer to get everybody's concerns factored for, but you also get better results when you address the concerns of all the parties, and you actually get to a point where it is reciprocal, where there is benefit in both directions. Thank you, Kevin. I love it. How about Shane W?
Hey friends, my group did a really good job of like that confidence that Nishal was talking about, like totally agree. Everyone was getting a lot more powerful in what they were saying. And we also got to get more into the nitty gritty of what words people were using. We noticed, I said like to my parents asking for an iPad being like, is there any way you could like help me with this? And that might signal that it's like, give me like a $20 bill or like pay for the whole thing. We can't tell. Or, oh, I'm just starting this might sound a little less compelling than like, I am starting to do X and starting to get my MBA. So we got to get more nitty gritty with that. And we also started working to think about like, what might this manager's reaction be to this? And how could we address that in the initial pitch? But yeah, it was really fun.
Thank you, Shane. Yes, and you know, we're doing a workshop, one module, trying to jam a lot in. So in Noah Goldstein's in negotiations of behavior, you know, anticipating the yeah, but, and going ahead. Now, I can guess that you might have some concerns. I mean, there's all about building an argument that starts to be much more compelling because you're already anticipating the, yeah, great. And little word choices. And, you know, this is the workshop. This is Hamilton. This is political consultants, right? They focus group, they test. And, you know, it may sound inauthentic at first because it's still practice, but you keep working with it and it starts to become, no, this is organic. I can own this. These are words that are better than my original words, and they're words I can still own. They fit. Great work, Shane. Thank you. Let's see. Afrin, what did you see?
Afrin, hi, nice to see
Afrin.
you. So in our group, what I really noticed was a further incorporation of accolades and facts. So it helped everyone communicate their request in a stronger way. And then also there's just a far larger awareness of everyone's physical presence, both in tone, physicality, gesticulation.
I love that. Accolades and facts. That's a nice combination. Yes. And then, you know, like we can start to support each other. Come on, own it, you know, and like it literally, like you watch athletes pump each other up, especially in the tense moments of the game. Come on. Like that's that. And that's that performative element of communication. Well said. Thank you. Sarah B. Sarah, did we lose you? Sarah B, what did you see?
Sorry about that. So I think what was great about the adding the accepting my request at the end really set up a nice structure for the ask. In our group, we had a number of people that were either asking for a raise or asking for a job promotion or transferring into a different department to a different role. And I think what happened when we added the ask structure or the accepting my request structure is it set up a story. So at the top, pretty much everybody was saying, hey, you know, I really enjoyed being at this company. This is what we've achieved so far. This was my role so far. Here's where I want to transition. And then you go to the conclusion of the ask. So it set up that kind of nice storyline, which really was engaging for the listener.
Excellent. Yes. People appreciate structure. You know, the old-fashioned military way is, let me tell you what I'm going to tell you, let me tell you, and let me tell you what I told you, right? That's still a good structure for speaking to people. I'm going to do a briefing today on the state of the situation. Okay, here's the state of the situation. Okay, in conclusion, today I gave you a briefing about the state of the situation. It's not very creative. It's not memento. And it's comforting for people because it's got a beginning, a middle, and an end. We love story. So I like that, Sarah, that you're seeing kind of, oh, it's like a corporate story. Let me take you on a journey. a journey to me getting paid more and you being happy about it, right? Yay, win-win. Okay, thank you, Sarah. I love that. Do a couple more. Aditya, what did you see?
So I think the number one thing was the request, and that actually set us up psychologically to, not expect your result to go through. So we kind of got detached from the result and it flew a lot more naturally. And the surprising thing I saw was when you detach from the actual result, the results come better.
Yeah, yeah, beautiful. I can't claim psychological awareness. That's not my field. And, there's something like if I'm okay with a no, then I'm also, I'm also free to get a yes. It's almost like if I'm going to propose to the woman of my dreams, maybe she's not going to say yes the first time, but I'm not going to give up, right? Like I'm in it to win it. I'm in it for the long haul. So, but that's different than, oh my gosh, if she says no, that's a different, and confidence and charisma. Why are some people so charismatic? And a lot of times it's they really are, they're committed, but they're detached at the same time. I'm leading this parade, whether I got 5 people or 50 people, I'm still going to go this direction. I love leaders like that. And what was there for me when Marissa asked me that, will you date me exclusively for 90 days? And then we see if we want to date anymore or not. It's like, man, this woman wants to build a life. And it really, there was a part of my brain that was like, dude, if she doesn't like you, she's going to go do this with somebody else, right? This woman, she's going that direction. Really, really compelling. Great. I like that you saw that space, that there's a little, I'm detached from having to get the answer right now. You give people some oxygen when you do that. Thank you, Aditya. All right, let's see. 446. We got 2 more. Kasin or Kasin.
Hi, it's Cassine. Thank you,
Kasin.
Dylan.
Kasin.
Yeah. So the second time around, everyone in the group just seemed more present, despite all of us being behind the screen, and it's hard to like be there. I feel that there's a better flow, and everyone was able to make it a very direct point while being present, and I guess it's the composure or the tone of voice, and that really helped bring all of us into their picture and what they're asking.
Thank you, Kasim. And never underestimate how important it is to be present. One little word that I miss because I'm distracted or I'm worried about what I'm trying to say or I'm thinking about how's it going or I'm trying to remember what's that other point. One little word that they say that I miss, that it can be the deal breaker. Contrasted with, I'm with Cassine. I'm looking at this camera. I can't see her face, but I'm with Cassine. I'm having this communication with her right now. And I'm not worried about anything else. I'm just here now. Like, it's honoring these moments that we get. And now we're trying to figure it out. Now I can go look at Cassine, but now you're looking at the top of my head. It's weird, this Zoom stuff. That's stand and deliver next year. I don't know. But going into a conversation with the structure, why am I here? What do I want the call to action to be? What's their point of view? What's my body language saying? All of that supports you to be present. And the gold is always in the moment. The gold is always in the moment with interpersonal communication. So great work, Cassine. Thank you. Let's see, I think one more. Let's do Mark L. Well, do 2 more. Mark L and then Jenny, and then we'll wrap up.
Yeah, hey, Dylan. Our group, it was kind of interesting. Most of our requests were sort of like soft requests. And so we really focused on words a lot because a lot of people were talking about just trying to like get on someone's calendar who they would not normally have a reason to. So we kind of focused on like basically making yourself like not a threat. Like you didn't have a hard ask for them, you know, and try to separate yourself as a reason why they would say yes to your request versus just someone else.
Okay. And wherever we are is where we are. And getting on someone's calendar that I wouldn't normally be on their calendar, like this one here, This is me saying thank you to Interim Dean Al Osborne for his support for my Being a Leader conference. It was a big deal. I took 3 faculty members from the Luskin Conference Center all the way over here, rode the elevator up, went in the dean's office. It was a big deal. I'm not used to being in the dean's office on Friday afternoon with 3 faculty from around the world, you know? So sometimes even just, I want to be in the room where it happened, going back to Hamilton, right? So good. So soft, hard, who knows? We start where we are and we support each other and we go forward. Good job, Mark. Good job, team. All right, last one, Jenny.
Thank you. What I found incredibly valuable was actually our board around us and tapping into, for me, 5 different minds and how they absorb information and getting, because everyone absorbed information, had different feedback. And it was super helpful for me because it actually allowed me to go after this second round in a more rounded way, so I could speak to analytics and I could touch on what someone that wasn't as analytical, what they may want to have received in that ask.
Thank you for seeing that, Jenny. Yeah, what if these 5 people, are they my board of directors? Are they my future friends? Are they my support network? Are they my built-in focus group, right? You can frame it however you frame it, but the beauty is that there are 5 or 4 other people whose learning journey is mapped with your learning journey. And it's just different than so much of the rest of our educational experience where there was a lot of individual contributorness about it. So noticing the resources that they are, and so many things have been pointed out, you know, that's part of what I wanted you to be leaving this workshop with, above and beyond some of the actual speech communication type stuff we're talking about. So that's great that you saw that, because they're a resource. Yeah, add some analytics, add some more storytelling, right? Oh, I hadn't thought about that. Great. Upgrade, upgrade, upgrade. And your message gets more compelling, more persuasive. Thank you, Jenny. Okay, it's going to be 5 o'clock somewhere in 7 minutes. So let's knock this thing out. Grade yourself. Give yourself a grade. I hope you went up. Whatever you did is great. If you stayed the same, if you went down, everything's a journey. Roller coasters have up and downs. Give yourself a grade. All right. 6 bonus tools. If you look on page 10, you can look at these. Constructive feedback, we talked about that. Questions and answers at the end of a presentation. Always leave a little bit of time for Q&A. I'm not doing it right now, but when you speak, that's a great way to hear anything you missed. You can customize to the audience. Some people get scared about Q&A. As long as you know your subject well, you'll do fine. Time, never ever go long. Arrive early. Number 4, inspect, don't expect. If it can go wrong, it will go wrong. The computer, we don't know the password. There's not a key to the conference room. There's a missing adapter. There's always something. I was up here 6 hours on Saturday. I was up here like 8 or 9 hours on Sunday. It's Zoom. We've never done Leadership Foundations on Zoom. I'm using a loaner computer, right? I got to do a COVID check-in test. I got to buy a parking pass because my parking is on hiatus right now. So I did the dress rehearsal. I tested out my suit on Sunday. Persuasion continuum. So those are bonus tools. Those are in your packet. Today is practice. Next week is about the results. It might be Saturday night or Sunday afternoon at the barbecue or Monday afternoon at the barbecue if it's personal, Tuesday morning with your boss. 6 weeks from now, if you got to get on the calendar of the SVP and it's a big to-do. That's what I want you looking for though. Looking for the opportunities, real life opportunities in your life right now to go ahead and let the MBA start to be valuable, right? You're going to be coming off this weekend on a high. You're going to be physically exhausted and mentally like on fire. It's a crazy combination because these are long days. And on the one hand, your brain is scrambled, but on the other hand, there's going to be this energy and it's going to carry over for a week or 2 or 3 weeks, hopefully get you all the way to the end of September, launch you into the fall. Use that energy. Okay, I'm about to give you the 2 bonus assignments. A promise you can make to yourself and a promise you can make to each other. I invite you to line yourself up with the energy of the people in your group. Let their energy and your energy pull everybody forward so that you're going to the goals that are going to make you go, wow, that's an incredible result. I thought I was going to get a 15% raise. I got an 18% raise and a new title, and I'm on a pathway towards whatever. Sometimes you get more than what you ask for in life. It's crazy how life can go. I requested, this is my little thing with my wife. I know it sounds silly, but I mean it 1,000%. About my second year of marriage with her, I said, I got to get some new charts. And she's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I got to get some new charts. Like, what charts? I'm like, well, whatever I thought might be how good life can be when I was 16 years old, wondering about someday, being married to you is off the chart. Like, it was so much better than I thought it would be. Life can do that when you partner with great people, okay? And everything about communication, it's about creating partnership with the people around you. Win-win outcomes. They win, you win. Everybody gets a better reality out of it. So I want you personally, professionally, looking for opportunities to stand and to deliver. Look for little micro moments. You don't have to make the big speech. Run the meeting, right? Take the minutes at the meeting. Communication happens this way, but it happens in writing. Kelvin, who got the Slack group started, right? Look for opportunities to be a servant leader. Step into opportunities. Let the momentum of this FEMBA journey get up under you, and notice how you start to just take on more. Look for where you can make your boss's life easier. Look for where you can make your boss's life easier. Executives are super busy. My boss used to tell me, Dylan, if you bring me a problem without a solution, you're still part of the problem. Take problems off your boss's agenda, and they're gonna love you. And it all happens in communication. Raise your hand, stand, deliver. Okay? This thing works. It works in your personal life. You can use this to give a best man speech or a maid of honor speech. Hey, everybody, you put it down, you get the thing, right? Ting, 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 ting. The room gets quiet. 150 people look at you. Everybody's in their best clothes, and you can honor the bride. And you can have your thoughts lined out. Jessica, I want to tell you about the man you're marrying. He's been my best friend since 8th grade. All I ever heard him talk about was that he wanted a life partner as magical and wonderful as you. And I had no idea that he would ever have his dreams come true until the day that I met you, and I knew that he had found the one. And to the parents and the family, to everybody who's getting to know him, I can vouch for this man. He's the best man in my life, and I'm honored to be the best man in his wedding. Let's raise a toast to the happy bride and groom. You can use this at a wedding. You can use this at a eulogy. When the lights are bright and you get nervous, you've got your points there. And you can rock the house and you can own the moment. It really does work. So I invite you to play with it. Have fun with it. All right, so these are the 2 bonus assignments. We've got 1 minute left. On page 11, make a promise to yourself. Personal or professional. What's something I'm going to ask for? By when am I going to do it? That's 1. And the super bonus is page 12. I invite the team captain, the timer, somebody proactive on your team. Write them all down for your team. What does everybody want? By when do they want it? Who do they have to ask to get it? And then how can we support each other? I don't want FEMBA to be valuable for you a year from now. I want it to be valuable to you this weekend and Tuesday morning. And you guys can turn it into a game where you're really supporting each other. So you don't have to do it, but I invite you to do it. All right, watch your videos on Sunday. Good job, good job, good job. Have fun Tuesday. Look for new opportunities. Stand and deliver, speak and lead. You are the CEO of your own life. And to end with John Wooden, failure is not fatal, but failure to change might be. Okay? So dance with this. Fail fast, fail forward, fail often. Have fun with it. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. It's 5 o'clock here. Thank you, Roy. Woo! We did it. 4 of these. 2 days. Thank you all. Congratulations. Section 1, Section 5. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your attention. I appreciate it. Thanks for all the personal notes too. You guys sent me some very kind notes. Thank you for those in the chat. All right.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Dylan. Thank you, Dylan.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Dylan.
Thanks, Dylan.
Thanks,
Thank
Dylan. Thanks, Roy.
Thanks, Dylan.
Thank you, Dylan.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Hey, Dylan.
everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Dylan.
you.
My
Great
pleasure, my
workshop.
pleasure.
Thanks, Dylan.
Plugging here that there is the game night tonight. You should have received several emails or a link on Slack. Check it out. It's going to be fun.
Awesome.
Also join Ender Singles if you're in the market for that.
I saw that hashtag. That's great.
Dylan, I have a question for you.
Please, please, I'll stop the recording here. Give me 1 second.